Hey guys, welcome to my first screencast. Today we're talking about the elements of art, so let's get started. Elements of art are your basic building blocks of art. They're the things that you're going to put together. Think of them like your building blocks, your Legos. You're going to snap them together and create new artwork. So, we'll look at the principles of design on the next video. Today we're just going to focus on the 7 elements of art. The first one is line. Now on your sketchbook, on that first page, I want you to write down elements of art. There it is, elements of art. And then we're going to try to get all 7 of these on that page. So, they don't need to be huge, but they don't have to be tiny either. You can pause at any time you need to and get the definitions. And whenever I get annoying, you can fast forward if you want, but you might miss something good. So first off, line is the most fundamental. That's the one we're going to start with. And line is the path of a point moving through space. They can be explicit or implied. Explicit lines mean that they're actually there. That means you actually took a pencil or a pen or whatever and you drew a line, left it on the paper. Implied lines mean that you don't actually see a line, but your eye will follow it. So for example, you'll look where she's looking and your eye will go this way across to the window because we just naturally want to follow the direction people are looking or pointing. So we use implied lines a lot to keep people's eye moving around a picture. So besides getting the definition, you also need to get 3 examples. So you got several examples here. Thick and thin, change the pressure with your pencil. Zigzag, curves, straight lines. Get some examples, 3 of them, and then we'll move on to the next. Okay, shape and form go together because they're very similar. Shape implies form, and it's 2-dimensional. Form is 3-dimensional. So shape is an enclosed area. It might be enclosed with a line. It might be enclosed with a solid color. Form is an enclosed 3D area. So shape implies form and is 2-dimensional. Form is 3-dimensional. Okay? 3-dimensional means depth, length, and width. So we got an example of 2-dimensional work here. We got some flat shapes on paint, and then we have a sculpture, a 3-dimensional sculpture. Actually has depth. You could walk around and look at it from different angles. For examples, you know what shapes are. You can do blobs, you can do squares. This is organic, this is geometric. Any kind of random blob or a shape that doesn't really have like rules is organic. Any kind of shape that has like definite rules, like a square, is geometric. And then forms can be organic and geometric too. You know what a cube is. Here's how you can draw it. You can, if you want to pause and look at some examples, you can check out, like how to draw basic 3D shapes. You can find some more examples like pyramids, rectangular prisms, cylinders, cones, spheres. So you'll probably need a little shading to make your forms look good. So 3 little forms, 3 little shapes. Make sure you get the definitions, and then we'll go on to the next one. Pause anytime you need to. Color. Colors are derived from the 3 primary colors. Okay, so color is something that's kind of hard to explain because we don't actually, it's not really real. It's just something that our minds create so that we can tell different types of light apart. Light that we can see can have different colors, and that helps us like identify things. Some animals don't actually even see color because it doesn't really help them any, or they see limited colors. So you got your primary colors, your secondary colors, in-betweens that you mix, and you have tertiary colors, which are even more in between, say red, orange mixed together makes red-orange. So for color, hopefully you have, to create some examples, you're going to need like some color pencils or some markers, maybe even 3 different colors of ink pen. Hopefully at home you can find 3 different colors to make 3 examples of color for this. So again, make sure you get the element, make sure you get the definition, And for the definition, of course, you need all of the colors are derived from the three primary colors and black and white. Color has hue, value, and intensity. Now later we'll go back and look at what those are. Value. Value, think of it as shading. Value refers to the relative level of darkness or lightness of a color, and that includes black and white. So a lot of times we think of it as just like black, white, and all the shades of gray in between, but you can also have colors, and color can go all the way to black, all the way to white, and then variations of that color and besides. So brown can slowly become tan as it gets lighter. Value, just think of it as shading, and that's one of the easiest things to remember. So get you 3 examples of some values, little squares. You can shade in black, you can shade in gray, you can even make a white square, and that's value. Okay, texture is the tactile qualities of an object, how it feels. So this sculpture looks really smooth because it's marble and it's been polished, where this painting looks like it might be actually made of a bunch of different canvases. So you can kind of imagine how that would look rough and kind of like maybe it would feel really like you could feel the different types of paint on that canvas. So here's some examples of texture. There's 4 of them. You only need 3. We got scratchy lines as a type of texture, shiny bumps. And if you want more textures, think of like glass, kind of like shiny highlights. Look at some examples. You just need 3 little squares on your sketchbook of texture. Space and perspective. So space and perspective, the element space is the area in which the art is organized. It's the area where your art takes place. Ooh, there's a bell. Okay, so here's an example of perspective. As far as space goes, it's really just like, like the square or the rectangle that a drawing or painting is in. So it's kind of hard to show 3 examples of space, but you can show some perspective to show your examples. And guys, that's all 7. So when you have those done, line, shape and form, color, value, texture, and space. That's your 7. When you have them done, you're done with your sketchbook for the day. Thanks for paying attention. Listen in. See you next week.